All right, happy new year to everyone. Yes, it's been a while, but that's all right. So, I like going straight to the point, and this very year won't be different. Yes, don't waste people's time with unnecessary introduction. Meanwhile, my name is Chinyere Ujike. You are most welcome to my channel. So, this is in response to the Q&A poll that I put up the other day. I have this question from at Hang with Oma. She's also a YouTuber here. Yes, you might want to visit her. She's based in Lagos. She does lifestyle videos. Hi sis, happy new year to you and your family. Happy new year to you too, Oma. So she went on to ask, how is Somto doing now, social-wise? I am asking because I have a friend that a kid is finding it difficult to socialize after relocation, and they are contemplating sending the kids back to Nigeria to stay with the grandma. But I was encouraging her that speech therapy will help because I can see Somto's progress. So I am just wondering if you care to share a little about how long it took and what other activities they can do to help the child. They've been there for 8 months now. All right, so thank you very much, Hang with Oma, for this question. The thing is this, it can be lonely here, I agreed, but maybe I might give people a background of how Somto progressed. I should start by saying that the age of going to school here in the UK is from 4 years, between 4 and 5 years. That's reception. Your child should be in reception at the age of 4 and then possibly turn 5 while finishing reception, and then goes to year 1 between the age of 5 and 6. In Somto's case, how we started, when we got here, we told the school everything about Somto, and they didn't really understand. It might surprise you to say that the first day we took Somto to school, subsequent times, even while we were at Karen's, they would ask Somto, what's your name? Somto would say no. That had always been his response to any question. Somto, how are you? No. At the age of 6 plus, yes, Somto was already 6 plus when we arrived in the UK. Though Somto was in nursery school in Nigeria. He did nursery 1, 2, and 3. I remember I celebrated his 3rd birthday with his classmates in Lagos, Nigeria. And generally, he wasn't that a sociable child back home. He was not really socializing. Even the teachers in Lagos, Nigeria, they complained that Somto doesn't talk in class. He was just the quiet type, But then I surprised them one of the days when Somto came home, was singing. Even when they say everybody should say something in the class, Somto wouldn't say a word. So I filmed him singing national anthem because he loves to sing. And all the songs they sang in the assembly, I sent to the teacher. They were like, they wouldn't gossip around Somto. Though even at that, he wasn't really the talking type. And then I had my niece living with me. I also had my kid sister who was 7 then. I had my brother's niece. All of them were living with us. Somto would always fight them, play adults, play, that he was just a baby in the house, but he wasn't really talking that much. And then we went to Saudi Arabia. Everything got complicated the more because it was just literally myself and Somto in the house. The stories about how we lived and survived in Saudi Arabia, it's not something I would start saying again. I've said a lot about that in my previous channel and this current channel as well. I think a little bit about that. So when we got here the first day at school, the teachers, they didn't really understand us until they started seeing Somto, how he was responding. I remember the first 2 weeks, Somto was not drinking. Because they would ask him, he would say no. And here, they usually take any response you give as a child, they respect that. But for me, the mother, I know that when something says no, I don't want this food, put that food before him, he would eat. Something, would you like a drink of water? No. Drop a glass of water before him, he would drink that water. So for 2 weeks, Somto was saying no, no, no to everything. My boy was not drinking. My boy was not eating. When they told me, I cried. Then having seen all this that he was not communicating and all what have you, is the school that actually talked about speech therapy, because from time to time they usually have parents evening or parents chat time with the teachers, when they will invite all the parents to come around, So you are just 8 months here. If such an opportunity occurs, endeavor to talk to them about how interactive your child is, your child's communication skills, if it's not that impressive like you said. But this child at 4-5 years supposed to be in a reception going to year 1. And when you see how their reception classes are set up in this country, it is a place they learn through play, interactive play, or whatever they sing and see in the, what is it called, all these noisy rhymes. They set those things up within the reception class, outside of it, and they have sound in that environment, tires, wheels, a lot of them that are children's friendly. These are how children learn and interact with other ones during their reception classes. I think that would also help your child by the time he or she keeps going to school. And thanks goodness the child is still in reception class. So the second version of your question, I was encouraging her that speech therapy will help because I can see Somto's progress. So I am just wondering if you can share a little about how long it took and what other activities they can do to help the child. Anyway, to this person and to some other persons, because I've got 2-3 people who came to my inbox to ask similar questions in the past. They are still in the UK, though I'm yet to reach out to one of them lately to ask how their child is improving. A lot of you here who, some of you that watches my vlog might attest to Somto's improvement, even though he is not yet there. Yes, Somto underwent speech therapy sections for about 5 or 6 times. I can tell you how this thing works. Parents will do the bulk of the work. Yes, because a speech therapy comes to the school. It's the school that will recommend this and then apply for it, and they will send these speech therapists through the hospital, because I think they work with hospitals, because a lot of them are being sent from Northeast Hospital, Hartlepool Hospital, So this is how you will get the letter. Once they recommend one, they will come and assess your child, have a chat with you and also with your child, and make an appointment as to how often the speech therapy will be seeing your child, either in school. Yes, basically they see them in school. Like I said, it's usually school that will recommend. All the classes Somto attended, or the sections he has attended, were all done in his school. During lesson time in school, let's say around 9 o'clock, 9:30, immediately the school starts, they call him or they call us to do the assessment. And what do? They come and they bring some materials, ask him to read, ask him to, they just engage him in a conversation to see how well he's doing. And then they suggest the next thing to do. They gave us some materials to work with. It's how to pronounce certain words, especially vocabularies, because they realized that Somto does not know much vocabularies. And we, the parents, we started helping a lot. If you go to his room, maybe I might show you here, we bought some of all these vocabulary words and expressions, and we did not only just buy them thinking. Yes, what we do every day, not all the days, because sometimes we are really busy, but we try to make sure that he learn one single vocabulary and other ways to say those vocabularies. Yes, he's only 8, but children in this very country, even the one that is 1 year old, will blow one vocabulary for you. You will be wondering, is that a child of 1 or 2 that is speaking this big English? So this is how we've been going about it. And Somto has been reading perfectly well on his own. They give them reading books every week. Guys, I have my lemon tea here because I'm feeling cold. He has been reading very well. But the good news is this. Like I said, Somto has underwent through 5 or 6 speech therapy sections. And the bulk of the work or works were done by us, the parents, because they would always give us material to go home with. And the good news is that at present, Somto has been taken off the speech therapy session. He's no longer doing that. They called that off last term. The speech therapy called me on the phone, analyzable, and then they sent us a letter from the hospital saying that Somto is fine. Ever before we went for the speech therapy, or before we requested and talked about it with school, we took him to the GP, who assessed him and said it would take him 3 long years, because that was the number of years Somto lost. Yes, he was in Saudi Arabia for 3 years. He didn't go to school. And then the doctor was like, it would take him 3 long years to recover those years. And he's gradually coming around. You know, so having been monitoring him in the last 2 years plus, you can tell, if you have been following my channel, he's absolutely coming around. To be honest with you, he can say a couple of things. He's not there yet, like I stated, but he knows, and it hurts him when he wants to express himself and he doesn't have the words to say that. It makes him angry. In fact, it makes him furious. But me, the mom, understands him better than any other person. And I am happy that in his school, he is loved and cherished. All the teachers, they know him from A to Z. And this is another thing you should consider as a parent whose child is having a speech challenges. You know, you should, as you are staying in one particular school, now let that child be in that school for like 2-3 years in case you want to move. Because as at last year, August, we almost moved home. Yes. Because my husband got a job in a different place. But because of Somto, the present school, we decided not to be selfish, not all about us. Because moving home would really affect him. He would go to a different school and start learning names of his classmates, start learning names of the teachers. It took him time to learn the names of his classmates, about 30 of them or 28 of them, and his teachers. The fantastic thing is this: all the students from year 1 to year 6, they know Somto by name. Because he has this amazing, charming smile. Even though that he doesn't talk much, but his smile alone is quite infectious. It's quite contagious. You know, so this brought about the likeness, if you ask me. Because what do you have to do with somebody who would say, hello, Somto? He would ignore you. If you were the one as an adult, would you even say hi to that person again the next day? This was my son in our first year here. It hurts. He wouldn't say hi back to you. He wouldn't. But he would smile. You know, I feel like crying, recalling all these things. But that's all right. We are overcoming that. Now, one outstanding thing again, or another outstanding thing about my little boy was that he doesn't really give up. He doesn't like failure. That's another thing the school like him for. You know, he likes to do things, to perfection. He doesn't like to lose. Even in a game, you remember is it inter-house or the sports day? Everybody was just praying, including the teachers, so that he wouldn't give up at the middle of the competition. Because if he senses that people are running faster than him, he would provoke. Yes, I had an issue with social services. It was as a result of me constantly coming to pick Somto from school. I think it happens 2 consecutive days. In the afternoon, I was coming. They were doing their PE. I saw my son sitting aloof. You know what that means? And you know the weather here. If you are not running around the field, you might feel that cold more. But if you are running around with other kids, the possibility is there that you won't be feeling that cold. So I saw him. When I tried to find out, they said he failed a particular game. He tried to play a particular game. He couldn't get it right. And he became angry. Went and sat aloof on his own. And there is nothing you will say to him to try again and for him to stand up and do that. He don't verse, say don't verse. The next day, the same thing happened. I was crying inside of me. So this was how I picked on him when I came back home here. I raised my voice and I did the African thing. I did not say I beat my child. I did the African thing. Hey, if you say I beat, now you talk that one. And this was what led to my boy that I thought that he does not talk. Oh, come here. My boy went to school. told the teacher that mommy used something very strong in the kitchen and be very hard in the kitchen and beat him. Before God and man, I did not use anything strong in the kitchen to beat Somto. But did I beat Somto? I don't know. So this is just that. I never used anything hard in my kitchen to beat Somto. You see me the way they talk. So I didn't know that my boy could talk. Guys, this is not funny, you know. So, but now he is absolutely doing good. He loves to dance. He loves to sing. He participates in a lot of activities, but not the rough ones. We took him to karate. He didn't like that. We took him to football. He didn't like that. But he is in the boys' brigade in church. He does the after-school club. This is another thing you should consider doing. If there is after school, let your child be there. And speech therapy, something, talk to the school about the child. And if they look at, you know, it is very easy for a child to be labeled, maybe autistic, attention deficiency, ADS or something. Am I calling that right? And a whole lot of cases they do have here. You know, when your child is overly active, they will give that name, that the child is clinical. I remember one child, they said that he's too overreacting because the child is too active, ask questions. They label the child one clinical to CGP. But in our own case, thanks goodness, in everything, there's never been, even when we took him to the doctor. And finally, when the speech therapist finally said it is over, after all the interaction, he said nothing is wrong with our boy. He's just that quiet type, but it will take him time. And he's doing well because they've assessed him severally. They will have me, during the assessment, I will go discuss with them for like 20 minutes. And they would spend like 1 hour with Somto, you know, talking, doing some activities. And then they will give me a pack that I'll be working with. I have some of them in the house. All these things are just words, numbers, how to make sentences. There is nothing much, but we should do the best for our children. We know that they spend much time out there in school, but we, African parents again, you know, some children are naturally gifted to start talking blah, blah, blah on time. I know little Amy. Amy can talk and talk and talk. I think she's only 3+ or thereabouts, you know. She's so vocal. They were praying in church. She raised her hand up. She wants to pray. Oh my goodness. But a lot of children are not like that. If your child is that quiet type, and see how you can help. And if you are having babies in this very country, learn to start talking to your babies. I didn't say children, babies. When they are still babies, this is the way Oyibo people do. You will see Oyibo woman pushing a pram, you know, and she will be talking and gisting. You will be looking for, who is she talking with? Is that baby in the pram? You know, but most of us Africans, we don't do that until the child grows and start walking and we begin to, yeah. Should I blame myself for my boy? I do not totally, because in Saudi Arabia, I was also doing my best. I homeschooled my boy, and I was letting him watch number blogs, alpha blogs, all them TV thing, you know, but naturally, that is his person. And my sister-in-laws also had it that his dad did not start talking on time. You know, we Africans, we almost believe in hereditary, and it's not Africans, it's biological. You know, that the dad did not talk, we shouldn't bother. Even while I was in Nigeria, I was already worried about something, just to see. The sisters were like, I should forget about it, that the dad did not start talking until about. But thank God, we are getting there, but not there yet. So, you don't have to take your child back to Nigeria, my dear. It's not a solution. Let them be here. Yes, since he or she goes to school, and is starting from reception, progress into year 1, you'll be surprised when the child will start talking. Do all your best. Engage your child at home. In as much as you are working or whatever, engage. Learn to listen to your child. Let your child talk. Tell him or her to always use the words. Because at some point, my boy was always having to point at something. If he wants this banana, he would point. If he wants water biscuit, he would point. I said, what are you talking? He would pointing at the cabinet there. Say it. Or you could say, can you use the words, please? This was what I learned from school as well. Can you use the words, please? And he will look at you. It will take him about 1 minute. Just give that audience, give him that patient. Wait, he will talk. So this is how we do it. All right, I wish you all the best. I hope I've answered your question correctly. This is why I choose to do this in one single video, because I know it is something I will need to talk and talk. Yes, thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel, like this video, and keep coming for more. Ask your questions, and I'm also willing to answer them more, okay?